Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. If you're joining us on Wednesday, happy Wednesday. If it's Thursday or Friday, I will wish you that as well. Hope you're doing well. And it's a little gloomy this morning, but I hear that things will get sunnier later. That has a lot to do with what I'm going to share today. Today we're going to talk about anxiety and stress for a little bit. So hopefully that will be something that's very helpful to you. Seems like this last year has taken anxiety and stress and worry to a new level. Good morning, Annika. And some of you who never saw yourselves as worried people or stressed out people, suddenly you find yourself like, wow, what is this emotion I'm feeling? And then some of you who have always struggled with a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of worry, man, it has hit a new level for some people recently. And some people have actually called it the second pandemic, that the second pandemic is the psychological one and the results of what our culture and our world has been through this last year. So, man, we will see how that all plays out. So, this last week, I felt like I was getting worried about a lot of stuff, felt like I was getting a little stressed out. So, this was probably 4 or 5 nights ago. When my head hit the pillow, I just said, let me just figure out what are the things that are bugging me. So, I was able to list 10 things that I was worried about. That for me, that's a lot. And I just identified these things, and then I immediately felt a little bit better, just that I got all this stuff out of my brain rather than it just being this, nebulous stress ball. I got to see what are the things that are bugging me. Sometimes it helps to get the bugs out and identify them rather than just allow all of this cloud to be bothering your brain. So if you're feeling anxiety, if you're feeling stressed out, if you're feeling worried, what do you do about it? I want to give a couple of quick things that have been really helpful to me. One is there is a passage in Philippians 4 where Paul talks to his friends in Philippi from a jail in Rome. So his health is not good. Morning, Summer. His health is not good. He's literally in chains. And there are disturbances in the church. And then he says, hey, don't be anxious about anything, but pray instead. I'm not in chains. My health is pretty good. And things overall are good in the churches. But he had this perspective of even if all of this noise is happening, even if all of this trouble is happening, his heart can be secure. He doesn't have to be caught up in that cloud of worry. So I read these verses in the Message this week, and it was really helpful. So I want to read them for you. It says this, don't fret or worry. Instead of worrying, pray. Let petitions and praises shape your worries into prayers, letting God know your concerns. And before you know it, a sense of God's wholeness, everything coming together for good, will come and settle you down. It's wonderful what happens when Christ displaces worry at the center of your life. Good morning, Steve. I love that last line. It's wonderful what happens when Christ displaces worry. So for me, the question is not, do I have things going on? We will always have things going on. The question is not, are these concerning things? Yes, they are. The question is, what gets into the center? And am I allowing that stuff to be at the center, or is Jesus at the center? Because that will affect how I feel about everything. So Jesus becomes not just, verses are not a guilt trip to say you shouldn't be worried anymore. Hey, cut that out. It's an encouragement to put the right thing at the center so that we have a peaceful target rather than a stressful target that we are heading for. And man, I would rather develop a close relationship with Jesus than with my worry any day. We do not need to encourage that relationship with our worries at all. But sometimes we get so used to worrying that it just becomes like second nature, but we forget that it freezes us in place. We're not able to grow, we're not able to help other people around us because we're really spinning our wheels. Here's another thing that I noticed. One of the titles for Jesus in the Bible is Prince of what? Peace. So peace is the opposite. It's the antithesis. It's the solution for worry and anxiety and stress. And if he is at the center and I'm getting to know him and he is changing me to become more like him, guess what happens? I become a more peace-filled, peaceful person because the Prince of Peace is ruling. And if I'm not, then something else is blocking it. Something's keeping me from becoming who I need to be. I was talking with a friend of mine this last week who's a therapist about worry. And I said, give me a picture of what this all looks like. And she said it's like a gate. Your mind is like a gate. So all of these things come to the gate. And then you can decide which things come inside. And so sometimes we're not very discerning and we just we leave the gate open and we're like, come on in. The problem is a lot of those things are stressors and things that are bringing anxiety and worry into our system. And we just say, come on in. Good morning, Matt. That's not wise. It's wise to look at what's coming to the gate. We can't choose it. We can't feel guilty about it. Some of it's temptation, some of it's great, some of it's bad. But we can meet these things at the gate. And then we can take every thought captive, the Bible says, and we can say that one comes in, that one comes in, that one comes in. Some of these are legitimate concerns that we need to turn into prayer, not worry, and say, yeah, that needs help. The problem is sometimes we let things in and we let them set up shop we let them make themselves at home in the guest room and they live with us forever. And those are worries and stressors and anxiety that replace Jesus in our lives. That's crazy. Now, here's the other thing. Some of you may say, man, I'm so anxious, I'm so stressed. Anxiety has been a problem for me forever. Okay, let's talk about that. Maybe you have 10 times as many things coming to your gate as I do. And your mind is flooded by all of this input and stress and worry and stuff. And you have so many things coming at you that you cannot slow them down and choose certain things to let in and out. That is heightened anxiety. And so what do you do with that? With chronic, just, this high level of it. You may need some intense prayer. You may need some intense therapy. You may need some medical help, some meds to bring it down to a normal level of what's coming to the gate of your mind so that you can address the stuff in a right way. Don't feel guilty and say, well, look how broken I am. Just get the help that you need so that you can deal with anxiety, deal with stress, deal with worry in a way that's healthy and not have that rule your whole life, but invite the Lord to rule your whole life. Displace these worries with Him at the center. So this week, just look at what's knocking at the door and don't let it all in to affect you negatively. Just say, that's a legit concern, that's a legit concern. You guys come on in and let's work on this. The Lord and me together, let's work on this. And the other stuff that you can only be stressed about, only be worried about, that only freaks you out, don't even let that stuff in. Good morning, Eric. It's not worth it, and it will move Jesus out of the center of your life because you'll begin serving that stuff, giving your attention emotionally, spiritually, mentally to that stuff instead of to Him. So that's what I'm going to choose. I'm going to choose to have Him at the center and not all of my worries. Let me say this again. So that one night when I had these 10 worries and I just listed them out and I literally gave those things to God. I said, these are the things that are bugging me. And I said, Lord, you and I, we have a problem. What are we going to do about it? It's not mine. It's mine with Him. He's the only one that is powerful enough to change all this stuff. So I want to encourage you, even if you have to do this every day, just list out the bugs that are bugging you and give those things to the Lord as a list or one at a time and just say, like, Lord, I need your help with these things, and don't allow them to be at the center. Bring Him to the center. Right on? Hey, enjoy your day, everybody. God bless you. And the sun is going to come out soon. See ya.